Full disclosure, part 1 and 2. And there's 3 films right now in the series. There's probably going to be 6 or 7 in the series. Number 3 is about to come out. I'll show you what that looks like. We'll be talking a lot about these 3 films. The 4th film is on the abduction phenomenon. When I got into this, when the Lord raised me up onto this platform, I was ridiculed by my brothers and sisters in the Lord. Can I have an amen? Thank you. I go right into that so easily. Yeah. But I promise it's the sugar in the coffee. I'm sorry.
These guys are killing me. They're definitely not talking about as much as I know.
Because I was talking about implants and abductions and everything my research had brought forth. And people would write hit pieces on me. They can do whatever they want to do, I don't care. We are at a point in time where everything I said 20 years ago has manifested. And you're turned right on it, ticked off. Because I am. Because for the most part...
And we were contactees and targeted individuals 20 years ago. And they're not talking about it.
It doesn't. I get maybe 1 or 2 a week from a pastor. LA, can you come and speak? I'm thinking about it, blah, blah, blah. Oftentimes,
But I'll sell you a book and a video.
Here's the trailer for number 3. That's the Birdcast UFO. That's the best UFO footage I've ever seen.
I have better.
They got their knowledge from the heavens.
Someone says, whoa, that's a UFO.
The photo comes up and it's bright over. I'm not wanting to make full eye contact with these things. But from what I did see, when I did look at them, they're like they're soulless.
It was right directly above us right here, and then it started tilting and moving up like that.
All of a sudden I was being lifted and about 3 feet off the ground.
It was going slow. I was walking right underneath it.
Been there, done it all, had it happen. That's not real. That's not real. That was bullshit from 20 years ago. 12 or 14 years ago. Seen it. Got it. Government anomaly.
That's the Birdcast UFO filmed over Turkey by the late Dr. Roger Lear.
That is a DARPA vehicle.
I'll show you the craft. It shows you who's piloting the craft.
Okay, I'm leaving.
I absolutely think that there's going to be disclosure.
Stop that. So this is from the first film. This is called Perspectives. Like Derek and Josh Peck's book, this came out in 2016. This film came out in 2016. And Paul McGuire is interviewed.
Should I say it?
We're going to see something soon. There's going to be
They started uploading my brain in 2016.
And that's why when you watch this clip, remember it was filmed probably in 2015 and it came out in 2016. So let's listen to what Mr. McGuire has to say.
I told him I was a contactee and he got very nervous. Let's go ahead and make him nervous.
I think that there's going to be disclosure in one form or another. I'm not certain about what that will be. Number 1 is I think we're right on the verge. When I say on the verge, it could happen this year or next year, where the scientific community is going to make an announcement that will reverberate throughout the whole world, where they will essentially say that we now have genetic evidence that planet Earth was seeded by some kind of extraterrestrial race X amount of years ago. I'm absolutely convinced of that, because the theory of evolution is under attack, and this still takes place somewhat under the jurisdiction of the theory of evolution. But the idea is that we were seeded by an extraterrestrial race, and I think an announcement is coming soon.
And we have to understand something, collectively, that the Darwinian paradigm is sacrosanct in the academic community and the scientific community. The planet runs on the Darwinian theory. The supernatural is mythos. In fact, if you're a born-again, spirit-filled believer that believes in the Holy Spirit and speak in tongues, you just might be ready to be certified a little cuckoo, if you know what I mean. We're mocked, we're ridiculed. The thing, there was a hit piece done on Jim Baker. Tom Horn emailed a bunch of us. Derek was featured and I was featured in it briefly. It's called The Calm, and they featured Jim Baker. Baker's an easy target. I've been on his show, I think, 3 times. And, you get to know somebody, interviewing people and sizing people's language. The guy's an octogenarian. What I saw was a man who was gentle, full of love and compassion. He was just a wonderful guy, just a wonderful human being. Wasn't pompous, wasn't filled up with himself, and we had a great interview. I think Derek would say the same.
Making money like you are.
For the whole, stuff. So, the rungs of
He knows
disclosure,
what I'm about.
It's an analogy that I came up with. We're climbing this ladder, I have no idea where it goes, but we're not near the top rung. This is important because in 2016,
Yes, we are.
we talked about this with Paul McGuire, and McGuire saying that at some point there's going to be disclosure. Okay, I never thought I would see this in my lifetime. I really didn't. And I'm sitting there in December of 2017, and all of a sudden Tucker Carlson comes on the show and he goes, UFOs used to be the stuff of conspiracy theorists and tinfoil hat wearing people, but maybe we shouldn't think about this anymore. Our guest tonight is Commander David Fravor. And David Fravor, who's a former F-18 pilot, comes on the record, and he basically states this: whatever I saw was something not of this earth. Something not from the earth. 2017. I fall off the couch. I can't believe what I'm looking at, what I'm hearing. In the meantime, it's a triptych. They got Tucker here, Commander David Fravor in the middle. And over here, they've got the tic-tac-shaped object in the F-18's gun sights.
13 years old.
With Fravor is. And by the way, this was leaked to me a long time ago.
2004.
Somebody came up with this footage. Footage like it, showing the gun sight. This thing is just zipping across the landscape. It's not this particular footage, but it's another one. Someone just came up and gave me a hard drive and said, you need to see this, and then just walked away. I never did anything with it because I was afraid to expose it or to run with it, because who knows where the source is. It could be classified information, and this is probably circa 2012, 13, somewhere in there. So the first run on the disclosure ladder is Tucker Carlson, Commander David Fravor. Whatever I saw, this tic-tac-shaped object was not from this earth. Stop and just think about this. Critical thinking. There's that terminology again. Critical thinking. Who calls up Tucker Carlson's producers and go, hey, we want to have this guy on the show next Friday? Oh, really? Oh, yeah, his name is Commander David Fravor. Oh, I'm sorry, sir. Does he have a book or DVD, or is he on tour? Why should we have Commander David Fravor?
It's Nexstar, actually owned by the government.
Oh, that's not going to happen here. Oh, yes, it will. Oh, yes, it will happen. Now, I don't know whether that happened like that. Or somebody picked up Tucker Carlson's producer. But Tucker Carlson was ground zero. And I think there's a reason for it. Because Tucker Carlson's audience, get this, are for the most part conservatives. And they're conservative Christians. And maybe even they're born again, spirit-filled conservative Christians, right? That's the nexus. That's the umbrella that Tucker really reaches, okay?
They're Marins.
Why did they run it on Tucker? To see what we would do. What did we do? Doodly squat. Nothing. Not a stinking thing. My phone didn't ring. I think I had 1 or 2 emails from people. Oh my God, oh, did you see what happened on Tucker? Ah! A couple of people did that. But, there was not one pastor. Not one pastor. Pick up the phone and go, LA, maybe what we've been saying for the last 20 years is correct. Not one. Not one. Gary Stearman and I had a lengthy conversation over the phone. Absolutely. It's life-changing. That's the first run. That's the game changer. The cat is now out of the bag. It's no longer what L.A. Marzulli says or L.A. Marzulli thinks. It has nothing to do with me. You have an F-18 pilot on Tucker Carlson telling you that this tic-tac-shaped object that he saw, this UFO, was not from this earth. What do you do with that information? Is it alien? Of course not. not in my opinion it is. And that gets in, I'll go real quickly here, that gets into the plurality of worlds, where the exobiologists and all these people are going, oh, the universe is billions of light years and galaxies and this and that and the other thing.
Because it was a huge cover for what happened to me in
Which
2015.
basically says, if there are, why so silent? Why? Why so silent? Whoever these entities are to manipulate space, time, matter, and energy. We know that. They do things that wait a minute.
Wow.
Something else is going on. They are incredibly nefarious. Hold that thought. Let's move on to the second rung on the ladder. And what we see, once again, there's humanity in favor. This guy's a nobody. What I mean by that, he's not a nobody, but no one knows who he is now. Everybody knows who he is. But back then, no one knew who Commander David Fravor was. Oh, he's an F-18 pilot. Why is he on Tucker Carlson? Because he's the guy that can. And then on 60 Minutes,
That can what?
they did an interview with Fravor and the wingman, which is a woman, and she's flying another F-18. And she says the same thing. It was the first time she came on the record. That's 60 Minutes. That's not George Norrie, that's 60 Minutes, with all due respect to George. Pentagon further releases 3 Navy videos showing unidentified aircraft phenomena. Notice the way they changed the terminology from UFO,
Elizondo.
UAP,
So what?
aerial phenomena. So somehow it's okay to talk about UAPs, but if you cross the line and say UFO, you're a tinfoil hat person. Just saying. The second rung on the ladder is Luis Elizondo appears where, drum roll, on Tucker Carlson. And he says that the United States government has in its possession metals from crashed UFOs. Now, I've been saying this for decades, that it's nuts and bolts crap. I was once again laughing here, I don't care anymore. It's nuts and bolts crap. It is. And you say, well, why doesn't the Bible talk about this? Well, the Bible does. So, Elisha is with his servant Gehazi, and they're surrounded by 180,000 Syrians. And Gehazi's freaking out. And he goes, we're going to die. I'm paraphrasing. Elisha goes, well, why don't you, Lord, open his eyes. So Gehazi goes strutting out of the tent, and he looks over the Syrian army. What does the scripture tell us? I looked and I saw chariots of fire. What are chariots of fire? What is the Merkaba, for crying out loud? See, we have this truncated view of supernatural. We think that there's no technology in the Bible. This is my next book I'm working on. Let me just throw something to you. When the angel of the Lord appears to Joshua, I hate these stupid clocks. I get down to 44 minutes already. You only give me an hour. I'm supposed to have 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So the bottom line, I love you. The bottom line is this. When Joshua takes that sword, or when Joshua sees the captain of the Lord's host, and that angel...
They're swarming around me.
Take off the sandals, this is holy ground, right? Where does that sword come from?
A mess.
Just think about that. Where does that sword come from? Now, he could blink his eyes and there could be a sword there. Or he could have an angelic contest. I'm not saying this happened, I don't know. But why not? Why not? Why can't he go, hey, I need a sword? And he volunteers, and maybe 10 angels step up, and they know how to work metals, and the metals that they have there are not like
In the shadow of the
sword. They construct a sword. I'm just saying. We have this truncated view of supernatural. When the 2 angels appear to Ezekiel, one of them has a slaughter weapon. 2 of them have slaughter weapons as they go into Jerusalem. What is that? What is a slaughter weapon? Why is the other angel has this little magic inkhorn? What's that? There's technology. What about when the New Jerusalem descends? How does that work? 1,500 miles wide? Who did the engineering on that? And it just hovers and it floats down? What I'm saying is there's technology to the Bible. Gehazi sees the chariots of fire. What are the chariots of fire? What are the chariots of fire? Does that mean the good guys have them and the bad guys have them? That's still in the back corner for me. Something is going on. Something is going on here. I don't have all the answers. Nobody does. So the second rung is this. That material left destroyed by the Pentagon is not from this earth. They have metals from crashed UFOs. The Pentagon does have mystery metals that came from UFOs. This is Dick Pope. He's all over the place. And so we know that that's true. So the third rung on the disclosure letter is former CIA guy Christopher Mellon comes on and goes, hey, guess what? We tested the metal and it has isotopic ratios not found on this earth. I mean, that's got it's being
Old news.
It's being doled out slowly. In a period of like 3 or 4 weeks, this was already on. We were already on the third rung of a ladder of disclosure. The fourth one, and this was a bomb. I couldn't believe I was reading this. Pentagon sent to release classified UFO findings. Off-world vehicles not made on this earth. And then they just back away. Well, wait a second, time out. What do you mean they're not made on this earth? Who's making them, pray tell? And what planet are these things from? Where are they made?
This is crazy.
Does my phone ring? Do I get any emails?
This all happened from a contact that happened to me in 2017. We all know this. They said it was a Saturn ring maker. I'm about to shut this guy down. Okay?
I've been on this.
Sorry
This
to
is my
bother
business, my
anybody.
call. This is what the Lord called me to. And the book that did that for the VIPs that were here was The Omega Conspiracy by Dr. E. Thomas. That book changed my life. That in the book of Enoch. Something is going on. The fourth ladder of disclosure. Off-world vehicles not made on this earth. What do you do with that?
Wow.
Because now it's